Well, woohoo! We are, looks like I got my logo right in front of my face. We are celebrating today. We're having a fabulous day of amazing celebration, and in honor of our two amazing authors. We have Roi Qualls and H.E. Wallace. And I don't know, do you want to go by somebody other than H.E. so everybody knows you?
Sure, that's fine. You can go by Hyacinth.
Hyacinth. I think that's such a gorgeous name. Well, we are introducing and we want to showcase this amazing, beautiful book as all of our two authors and our support team um, takes the time to really, we're going to celebrate this time and also talk about this incredible book. And before we do that, I would like for our two authors to introduce themselves, and then we'll have Dennis and Kim introduce themselves, and then we'll go from there. So let's start with you, Hyacinth.
Okay. I'm Hyacinth, or H.E. Wallace, and I'm so grateful for all of you to be here.
And tell us about you.
Oh, well, I'm one of the authors of the book. I grew up around the corner from Roi Qualls and went on my own life journey. And 2.5 years ago, he gave me a call and asked if I wanted to help him write a book. And I said yes. And that's where we are today.
And here we are. Very good. Um, Roy, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Roi Qualls. I live in Yellow Springs, Ohio. And, by trade, I was a database architect for about 40 years and always had this idea and was lucky enough to call Hyacinth on the right day. And she didn't say no. So here we are.
And the journey began, huh? Very cool. Um, Kim, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Douglas. I'm the founder of Write to Unite, a writing coach, editor, and I had the great joy of working with Roy and Hyacinth on this book. And I'm so excited to be here to celebrate a lot of hard work, dedication, perseverance. It's awesome. It's a great book.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to have you here with us. And then Dennis.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dennis Stafford. I am fortunate to get a chance to help support these amazing authors in bringing this story to life. Other than that, Organic Soul Marketing is my consulting firm. We're fortunate that we only work with people we really, really like, and we really like working with these two folks.
Thank you, Dennis. And I'm Becky Norwig. I'm with Spotlight Publishing House, and I'm the one that had the honor of helping to bring this book to the world and get it launched out there. It's been just an amazing privilege and such a joy. Such a joy. So we are talking about something here. You know, it takes teamwork to make the dream work, and we've had an excellent team to bring this together. We are celebrating this incredible book, Points of Failure, Interwoven. And let's set the kind of the framework around that as to what Interwoven is all about. It's in this account of Dr. Ta Morant, a brilliant astrophysicist whose Deuteron engine can propel a human voyage to the center of the galaxy in search of a new home. Set in the not so distant future, human excess and neglect has culminated in a distressing predicament. We must prevail in our first journey beyond our solar system or perish. There's some extra noise. Can some extras mute for a few minutes? Cool. Very good. Chief Scientist Morant stands at humanity's helm for the Emojis 19 mission when it encounters unforeseen obstacles. The moment is further complicated by personal tensions that scientific advancement has proved unable to mitigate. Childhood trauma, fickle friendships, brittle intimacies of marriage. To make matters worse, Dr. Morant must steer clear of danger and political intrigue while navigating with the moral compass clouded by corporate bureaucracy and personal vendettas. Human survival depends on a man who is brilliant as he is fragile. And for that reason, Interwoven's dilemma and vividly imagined world feels not just theoretical, but deeply personal and surprisingly timely. What an amazing book, and how exciting to bring a sci-fi book into really the inner workings of humanity, and to really understand that this is making our minds expand into something different. And a lot of times sci-fi books are so out there with just such craziness. This brings in our humanity. And so, how did this book come to be? And let's talk about this whole process. Roy, you started with the idea. Let's talk about that process and where it all began, how that idea popped into your dreams and and then into your mind and came to be something fantastic.
So, well, I had this spontaneous inspiration one day that really kind of formed the axis of the plot for the story. And as Hyacinth and I started getting to work on it, it really began to flesh out to a whole lot more than just a few plot points. So maybe Hyacinth could chime in and she could talk about what some of her hopes for the work are, and then I'll share some of mine.
Okay, no problem. They're quite simple, but as a writer, and I guess as any artist would, I hope that this book inspires people to imagine a better future. And I hope that those imaginings inspire them to create art, specifically writing it down, and that those ideas become a reality when we create them into an art form. And I hope that the art that we do create creates and contributes to a better future that we all truly hope for, and that our future generations are absolutely deserving of. And that's what I hope.
How beautiful. And you, Roy?
Well, I confess my hopes, at least for the moment, are a little more prosaic. For one thing, I think it's such a cool story. It has become such a cool story. I'm really hoping that it gets nominated as a kind of a Reader's Choice Award in the science fiction category this year.
Yeah.
That would be just really exquisite. I think overall for this, and maybe not just for this book, but we really want to reach 100,000 readers. So we're not thinking small. And right now we're thinking in terms of a trilogy. There's probably more stories in it than 3. And that another kind of hope, we've been told this by several people, is reading the book is like watching a movie. So we think that might not be a bad idea. But beyond all of that, I think Noetics, the partnership between Hyacinth and myself, we really are hoping to attract other collaborators who have a vision for the future of a collective, of a collective future based on kind of a common concern for the welfare of all, in which humanity is viewed as one family, and that is the operating principle of the human race and all the institutions and the communities that comprise the human race.
So it's something far bigger than yourselves. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. And that's what is so important for right now, is we really we see what's going on in the world around us, and it's time for change, and it's time for us to put our hearts together and our minds together and find that way. And so it's just brilliant what you're bringing to the world. Kim, you're part of that big picture of what helped get this book out to the world, and kind of weaving the storytelling that had to fall into place in order for it to be the read that it is, and maybe even turn into a movie. Who knows? Who knows what this is going to be? Tell us your thoughts on this book.
Well, I'm deeply excited to be here and to celebrate this effort. And when I first heard about this from a client in the book writing program I offer, and she said, "There's someone I know in Ohio that needs a book coach for a sci-fi book." And I said, "Well, I don't do sci-fi, so that's not my wheelhouse. It's not my area of interest." But she never got back to Roi, which was a blessing, because Roi contacted me and shared his idea. And I was like, wow, this doesn't sound like the sci-fi I'm used to. This sounds really good. And then I got to meet Hyacinth and work with her. And I have to say, I was in awe and envious of her incredible talent with descriptive detail and creating a world that's vivid and real, and the willingness to dive deep into a character that's very complex. So we had a phenomenal time together, and then I had the chance to work with both Roi and Hyacinth and see this book come into fruition. And I think their collaboration is unique, across racial lines, age lines, different kinds of work lines. And the collaboration in and of itself gives me hope for humanity, that we can come together, we can create together. And some of the differences, Roy's phenomenal business background certainly helps Hi's very creative spirit background and brings an extraordinary balance to this. So it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with you both. I am so happy. I do believe this would be a phenomenal movie, and to know that there's another volume that will be, I know you want a little breather, but another volume will be down the line. And I'm excited to see what worlds get created. Tom Morant, the character, wow. I'm drawn in. There's a lot of books out there with one-dimensional characters, and people who know how to learn a little bit about craft and write a book. This is an in-depth portrait of a man that is going to lead to a lot of unique conversations, in a book on his transformational journey from a pretty traumatic upbringing and through more challenges as a professional and in his marriage, but to an ending that gives us some glimmers of hope. And so congratulations again to both of you. And thank you for choosing me. And I'm so thankful to God that I somehow, Roi didn't get the message that that's not my area of interest, because I loved working with both of you.
That's beautiful. And it's my first sci-fi book too, ever publishing. Out of all the many books that I've published, this is my first experience too. So it's quite a joy to be able to be a part of this. Yeah, thank you. So Dennis, tell us where you entered the journey into this amazing realm, and your take on being able to walk aside all three of these wonderful people here, to bring this book and get the exposure that it needs. You're muted.
How's that?
That's mucho better.
So again, as I was sharing earlier, I had determined that for our company, what really was important was to find people whose values aligned with ours, who that we um, believed in what they do. Um, because we want to do great work. We don't want to do boring work. And what's fascinating for me was I was able to come into this fairly early on. And my background is working in the music industry. So for me, very early on, I saw this sort of analogy between what it takes to bring a great song to the world and or a great book. In both cases, it's art, and it's interesting. For me, I always feel like my role is just let me make it as easy as I can in what small way that I can. Make it easy for the people that we think who really will like this be able to get to know the story. So probably with that, there's like two specific things I would share. I want to make sure I get these things out. So first of all, it is so exciting that people can actually now go out and buy the book. So for those people who may wonder, okay, this is great. I'm so happy to be here. What can I do? Well, one thing you can do is you can buy the book. Um, so likely wherever you want to buy, certainly Amazon, uh, bookshop.org, and from there links to a number of independent retailers. Um, we'll talk a little bit later, but certainly there's Schuler's. They have locations in Michigan. We have a few others, but it's exciting to think about the fact that the book's available. And Amazon, of course, if I didn't say that. So that's one thing. I feel like if I could do a drum roll, I would do that now. Right? I mean, 'cause it is a big deal. I mean,
Because
the thing, and I remember when it was a conversation about a thing, and now it is a thing. So okay, so I wanted to make sure I share with everyone it's available to purchase. That's the one thing. Um, you had asked me where I came along in this journey. In the beginning, it was just trying to think about how we reach people. And now we're at the point in that journey where Roy and I will be visiting some different cities. Um, if you'll please be so kind, I'll kind of just give you an idea of some of the places that we're going to. So not every place is confirmed yet, but certainly we're looking to have the authors visit and spend some time in Yellow Springs, quite possibly the middle part of the month. And from there, maybe Columbus and or Cleveland. Um, uh, Looks like they'll be coming here to Detroit, where I am, around the 24th of October. And then we're looking to confirm dates around Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, Lansing, around that area. Hopefully, we'll be able to visit our friends in and around Chicago around the end of October. Then we're looking at visits to Indianapolis and Bloomington, Indiana, around the early part of November. And still along that first couple of weeks of November, stops in the Pacific Northwest. So we'll all get a chance to sleep on High's kitchen, basement floor or living room floor. But we're looking to spend some time in and around icy Chinook, Astoria, Long Beach. And these are all places that we're still looking to confirm. And then to close this out, we're looking to confirm stops in Portland around the middle part of November. And then finally, time in It looks to be Murfreesboro, Huntsville, Atlanta, Statesboro, and then ending up in Florida, St. Augustine and Daytona Beach. I believe that is some of Deer High's old stomping grounds. And then finally, Asheville. And I think after Asheville, pretty soon after that, Roy is leaving us all for New Zealand to see his relatives. So yeah, I've been here with these amazing folks for a while. To see this story unfold is amazing. And now to be a part of the journey where we get to put it in people's hands is like it's like the next chapter unfolding. So
Beautiful. You guys got to come to Phoenix, Arizona, too. Yeah. And we've got some comments in the chat. So people are chiming in, and somebody said, Ottawa, Canada, Triangle, North Carolina. So, come on, we got to, this is an amazing, fun experience. And I think just about any online bookstore you can find the book. It's just amazing how distribution, and it is published internationally, so it can be shared internationally, which is really important. So now, Hai, would you like to do the honor of a short read of the book, and of just one spot that is your whatever closest to your heart?
Absolutely. And Roy already knew what I was going to read before I told him. But this is the opening of chapter 9.
I knew before she told me.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just really loved it when I wrote it, and I don't think I let anybody make any changes to it after I wrote it. So, okay, so here we go. The Dragon's Gate will forever baffle me. It is terror and magnificence all at once. It hovers like a giant specter in Neptune's high orbit, past all her moons, away from the sun. It only opens 2 or 3 times an Earth year. I've never seen it with my own eyes. I mean, I've never sat in the deep dark out there and watched it morph to life. But it starts off as a blurry mist. When Neptune and its moons align just right, the mist rises to a deep blue. Blue grows into a crimson red that lingers for a while, then shifts again. That's when something magical happens. That's when Dr. Dragonomasi, the astronomer who discovered the gate, thought she was hallucinating and panicked in her small craft. From her observation deck, she watched the red sheer, revealing worlds on the other side. Worlds, and a billion stars beyond. According to her journals, she slapped herself to make sure she was of sound mind. No one had ever seen a Rosen-Einstein bridge before, the once theoretical wormholes that promised a way out of our solar system. From her memoir, she wrote, "To describe what I saw is to describe the face of God. Without weeping, impossible." She didn't know it at first, but she was looking through the bridge to the center of the Milky Way, to a promised escape. When she returned to Earth, she spoke about her experience, how she had the unnerving urge to disappear, to never come back, to leap and be one with the stars forever. I imagine to have seen all those worlds would have been proof enough to speak to God in poetry. She said it was a sight that brought her to her knees. She was either blessed or very lucky, because for most, it's the struggle that brings surrender.
Wow. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And my aunt is 84, and she has a book club that she's in, so they're going to be reading. See, the interesting thing is you do not know how many lives you're reaching when you have a book out to the world. Just like with songs, you never will know. The creators of the songs, those ones that sing, nobody knows how far reaching. And yet the words in your book are reaching hearts already. And look at the beautiful comments that are in our chat. And so, wow, that was just incredible just to hear you express and read that little bit. And it brings you in. It kind of sucks you right into the story. And that is remarkable. So we do have in our little fun, we have a scene we're going to put on. Now, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm hoping this is going to work. So here, let me see if I can do this. New scene.
Hi, Roi. Hi, Hyacinth. Congratulations on your book launch. I'm a few chapters in. I can't wait to finish the book. I also wanted to share that my first cousins, about 6 or 7 of us, are in a monthly book club, and we chose for our October sci-fi themed book, Interwoven. So we are super excited to read it. We chose it because we've heard so many great things about this book, that it is just what the world needs right now, that it has wonderful character development and characters to follow and really get excited about, and also just bring some great messages that we could all use to deepen, think a little bit deeper, and make this world a better place. So we're super excited. Thank you for the inspiration, and congratulations again. See ya.
Oops, there we go. There we go. Now, wasn't that amazing? And thank you for that. That was just beautiful. I just love that where we are with this. So what would you say, and this question is probably more for you, Roi, what would you say to someone who loves sci-fi for the tech and world building, but less familiar with the speculative fiction that wrestles with spiritual or emotional growth?
Well, I think what I would say is that, science fiction is just kind of like the canvas. And what's really important is the story you paint on the canvas. And that human struggle, the issues of how do I contribute, make a positive contribution to the world, is kind of the same no matter whether you're in outer space or you're on Earth. And in order to do that, you have to be the best person you can be. So it's kind of this twofold moral purpose that all of us have. And this is a struggle on how do you achieve that purpose. And one of the things that we worked hard to achieve in the story is to find the golden mean between the extremes, if you will, of a dystopian novel in which everything is incorrigibly horrible, okay, and a utopian vision of the future in which all the problems are solved and everybody just gets along. And what we really wanted to do is talk about what is the struggle we have right now to get from where we are in the world to a better place that we all know we could do, and we could get there if we had the will, individually and collectively. So many people have heard me have heard Hyacinth and I talk about this. It's the story of the caterpillar. It eats every leaf in sight, then it spins a cocoon, and it thinks it's going to protect itself from all the outside forces. And inside that cocoon, the caterpillar just dissolves. Everything about itself, everything it knew about its life is just gone. And we write stories that are in the cocoon. What's the caterpillar going through inside the cocoon? Because there are elements of a future life that are beautiful, strong, albeit fragile, but worth developing and worth working for. And this particular novel just happened to be on a science fiction canvas. But that's the struggle.
Well, what better canvas, truly, because there's a lot of self-help health books, and you could have taken it that direction, but it wouldn't have had the effect. And this reaches a whole different, kind of a wider stream and a different stream than what the self-help.
Yeah, and I think that going back to some of Hyacinth's hopes, is I'm a computer scientist by trade and a philosophy major by training and education, and I realized that really it's beauty that attracts, and poetry, and stories. Um, and Jonathan and I were joking a little while ago, and I know if I had written this book by myself, it would be a 300-page lecture, and I don't think anybody would have read that. Uh, but really, the combination of the two of us, I think we've really written a great story, just a great story. And neither one of us could have done it by ourselves.
Very good. Any finishing thoughts, Kim?
Well, I'm just in awe. I hope that many people will buy this. I urge anyone who's listening tonight, don't just go buy it. Tell your friends to buy it. The writing is beautiful. It's really literary fiction, and yes, it's got the sci-fi elements, but the characterization and really the journey of both of you, I just really commend you. Writing a book is not easy, and one of many people say, well, how do you write a book? Like they want a formula, and you just have to dive in and do it. There is no one way fits all. It's a process, and the fact that the book is so different than when it first began is an indication to me that we've got real writers on board. This is not AI generated. It's not first draft. It's not, I'm insisting that it has to be the way we initially thought it. It has been through the mill. And you both have too. You both have grown so much. I've grown being a part of this. So congratulations again. And it's really been an honor to work with you.
And Dennis, would you care to share final thoughts?
Well, first of all, I would just echo what dear Kim said. What an honor to work with you both. I just think that I think we're in a time where people are interested in having deeper conversations. And I think that having a book that starts by being wrapped in this cloak of sci-fi, which is amazing because I'm such a sci-fi fan, but then to be asked these different questions or to be taken down these unexpected paths is super cool. So I'm excited about people joining us. And again, I hope people will find time to purchase the book, and they have ideas about tours and places we should be near them to reach out to us.
Thank you. And another thing is that's one of the key things that helps a book really get noticed is the reviews. So wherever you purchased your book, whether it's Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any place, wherever you're picking up the copy of the book, be sure to take the time to go back and post a review, because there's some key elements that happen when there's a lot of reviews. That's when it's kind of that mentality that, well, if there's that many reviews, this is going to be a good book. Not just a good book, but an exceptional book. But also for the marketing, most marketers will not even touch a book until they at least have a minimum of 100 reviews. And so, these are all the little things, the things that we don't really understand in the book marketing world, and getting something out to the world is it in every aspect of it, whether you're the reader, whether you're the marketer, whether you're the editor, whether you're the writer, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. And that's where we are today. So,
and Becky, if I could just real quickly, I'm so sorry. For those people who are interested, bookshop.org actually allows people to purchase from their local bookstore. So if there happens to be a favorite bookstore that a person has they like in their area, they can go on to bookstore.org. They will be from there. They'll be able to search for their local bookstore, and that bookstore will receive an appropriate amount of funds from that. And Roy, do I have that right? Is it bookshop.org?
Took me, I think, 3 months to figure out that bookshop.org and bookstore.org are the same place.
Okay. I don't feel so bad then. Okay. Thank you very much. And thank you. Apologies for interrupting.
Not an interruption at all, and thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here today, including all of the little messages that are coming in where we know that people are listening. And for those that are just now learning about the book and picking it up, take the time to just not rush through this book. Read it word for word and share it with your families. And then start posting, start sharing, not just with a review, but out on your social media, sharing it with your friends, your family members, because that's what's going to make this whole project really come to life. So with that, congratulations to our 2 amazing authors. Just what a beautiful joyous celebration. And thank you to you, Kim and Dennis, for all that you have done to help support them and bringing this amazing book to the world. And so that'll conclude our stream. And just one big thing I want to say, go celebrate.
Yes.
Go and celebrate. Yeah, this is a day to celebrate. This is a time that you have to stop long enough to say, we did it. All right.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you.